actually number of games won. The way the sets went, it's just unreal though that just a great battle, and unfortunately, like I said, it's just lost. Yeah, it's okay. I still remember it. Hey,
that's the good part.
Parts. Yeah, parts of it. So, yeah, all good stuff. So, I mean, how are you feeling about this match? I mean, what are you trying to accomplish, with this match?
People waiting for this. We have more people waiting to watch our stream than we had watching our stream the first time. That's good news. It's super good news. We're killing it, gents. Good job.
Well, that's good.
Well, I gotta get
good luck,
going.
Pete.
Yeah. Thanks. Glad to have you here, Annie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Do our best, brother.
I don't think you and I have met. Can you hear me? Here, you gotta have the headphones on.
All right.
There you are. Can you hear me? Okay, I don't think we have met.
My name is Scott Arnold, and you are.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Scott, you were the first match where Jesse was commentating. I watched a little bit of that. So you were playing against. He's playing against. As with Sam. Yeah, Sam. That's right. You played well. Good job, man. You've only been playing like 6 months, right? Something like that. Yeah. Well, very good, man. Yeah, Jesse was super impressed with you. What's up, Matt?
Again.
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Let me just switch this out real quick.
No problem.
All right. Oh, I don't even know what to push. So this is like here. Right? Yeah, this is mine. This is yours.
It has begun. Mortal Kombat.
We can still hear each other on Discord, but the people at home can't hear us anymore. Well, it's loud. We don't have the...
The voice volume is loud?
Yeah, that's what...
Tonight, I'll be eating roasted cauliflower tacos with spicy chipotle sauce. Thank you. Oh, yeah! I wasn't ready!
You want cheese to go with that wine?
It's our voices are loud.
Volume.
Good evening, air hockey fans. We are here today to witness the match between Spec and Nathan Buss. And commentating today is the late great, well, not late great, the 11-time world champion Danny Hines. Not late yet. And
Hello, everybody. I try to be punctual and not quite under the grate, under the dirt just yet. But anyways, thank you guys for having me on. I'm looking forward to a really exciting match. We've got Nathan Buss against Peter Cai, and I guess it's the number 1 and number 4 seed to this tournament. And I'm super psyched, to be quite honest. I want to see what Nathan is going to bring on the table, and at the same time, I want to see some power from Pete because I see all these videos of him pushing all those weights, and I want to see how that translates on the table.
All right, we're about to get started with the Centerline Cam, not yet brought to you by the Centerline. Here we go. Nathan gets first possession, goes into his drift. Off goal.
Yeah.
So for anyone who does not know, my affectionate name for Spec is Ninja Teddy because of his personality type. On the table, he's a ninja. In person, he's like a teddy bear.
Oh, almost goes in. Nathan gives it up.
Yeah,
to
so I
Spec.
think Nathan could have got that out pretty easily if he just gave it a shot. So that face-off, it looked like both guys are really timid. It looks like they're both making some errors. I think the adrenaline has a pretty big effect on big matches. It's very common, in any sport. So I think both guys are going to settle down. You're not going to see quite as many errors. That was a good hard right one-under that Nathan just hit just now, taking a 2-0 lead.
Spec is always a concern to play Nathan because he just says he's not up to the task, but then says he can beat him. But we'll see where the ball is going to land today and how Spec's feeling. He's always pretty surgical, but looks like he's making a lot of errors today.
Yeah, a good right wall over by Nathan. So it looks like Nathan's attack on Pete right here. Or Spec, it's to be quick. He wants to outquick him, and it looks like he's not comfortable playing at that fast pace. That could be part of, again, just the it's a 5-0 lead now. That could be part of the issue. When Spec is trying to set up his offense. You just feel like he's got those jitters, and he can't really set it up just right. He's not hitting it well. You see there, he almost made an error there, but caught it. So we'll see if he settles down, as he should in a long match.
I think one of Spec's greatest attributes is to not get pulled into other people's games, and I think he's kind of getting pulled into Nathan's quick game a little bit. He just needs to slow it down and play at his own pace, and I think that he's going to have a good chance here. He has a good over. He has a good cut. And that gives him a good shot to bring it to Nathan. But if he can actually translate that into the game, that's the big question. And Nathan brings out the first game.
Yeah, nice left all over by Nathan there. So that game there, it just seemed like, like we were saying, Nathan really controlled the pace. He did slow it down a little bit towards the end. And that's one thing Nathan's got to, be careful with. I mean, it's a best of 5 set match. So, if you spend all that energy early, it can start to wear on you towards the latter sets.
Final point brought to you by Max
but these
Weston.
guys are all in great shape, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for them.
Yeah, they should be fine.
Okay. Sorry, I'm usually not running the button, so I forget.
No worries. So
I forget sometimes.
that first game 7-1. Again, pretty one-sided. Again, I'm going to say a lot of jitters, for Spec. And Nathan, I think, just really took advantage of that and just kept pounding on him. And that was really the difference. I didn't really see, much of like a setup by either player that was going to be something that they could grow on and be somewhat consistent with. And I think a lot of that, again, is just the adrenaline is overpowering both of them right now.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. If Spec can just slow down his game and slow Nathan down, he'll have a real shot here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate's biggest advantage is, of course, that these are his tables and that he has his own table. Every time I talk to Nathan, he says that's his biggest edge, is owning his own table.
Yeah, it certainly helps to have a table. Now, I'll say this, really just playing as good of a competition as you can play at all times would be the biggest thing. I didn't own a table until I won my first world championship. So
well done.
It's not a prerequisite to be great. I can assure you that.
But it does help. That's for sure.
Of course, that was a good shot, by Pete there, but Nathan was a good block. So I like the pump fake, good power, but Nathan was ready for it. See that? How he's got him just completely off balance there defensively. Nathan does. So yeah, Spec has got to get his balance and relax, and he's got to slow it down. He's still playing it way too fast for him.
And I think Spec will tire out fast if he tries to maintain this pace and go 1-for-1 with Nathan head to head.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think
they got away from him.
One thing I notice when I'm playing Spec, and I've talked to him about this many times over, he's really good at deception, but in my opinion, and I've told him this, I think he focuses a lot, so much on that there's a few other aspects that I think he could hone in a lot more in the game over deception, but he's really good at it. I've just noticed that, maybe if he starts emphasizing a little bit other things, I think that's going to up his game quite a bit, a lot.
Yeah, I would say right now, Pete he's letting that drift dictate his shot when he's on offense there, because I think he's feeling rushed. So based on where that puck is at on the table, that's where, that's the shot he's hitting. And I kind of coined the name earlier, talking with Sam earlier today. I called it DSDS. So it's a syndrome, and I called it drift shot dictation syndrome. So it's basically where, you drift that puck, but you're drifting a little too fast, where you're left with only being able to hit one shot, in your repertoire, based on where that puck is at. And so you basically are telling the defense exactly what you're going to do. See, now that what Pete just did there is how he needs to set it up a little bit. Take your time on offense where you can hit multiple shots from the same release and same position of the puck. Because if you don't put your opponent in a situation where, they've got to block 3 or 4 shots all from the same location and same type of release, you're just giving away, what's coming. So a good defense is going to key in on that.
Exactly. I think one of Spec's major goals about his mastery of air hockey is what he likes to call table mastery, being able to hit the puck from anywhere on the table and have it do what he wants it to do, which comes part and parcel with puck control.
Absolutely.
And I think
so that's a huge deal. But at the same time, he can't rush himself like what he's doing right here. I mean, that drift speed, not everybody can drift it as fast as like what Colin can do. So Colin developed these ridiculous reflexes at a very young age, specifically for air hockey. Probably the first, player that we've had, or one of the first players that started doing it at such a young age and was being taught, all the proper things and given all the tools at a very young age. And he's kind of, the result of that. He, when you have somebody like, when you have something like that take place, he basically, and we knew it back then, when he was a little kid, we knew he was going to be a monster on the table one day, and that's exactly what he is. So slowing down, there's nothing to be ashamed about. To do that, you can still be very effective offensively. But like I said, I think when the adrenaline goes down just a little bit, these guys get their second wind. We'll see what happens. That was a nice right well over. Nathan just hit just now.
Let's watch that again. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
There it is.
But we can see that Spec slows down just a little bit. He's leading 3-4 now.
Yep.
Holding his own with Nathan.
All right, so a little cross straight by Nathan. So you see Nathan slowing it down a little bit too, because I think, again, I think he wants to play at a high pace, but he's also making a lot of errors. Whether it's just maintaining possession, kind of just, they're not errors that they're unforced errors is what they are. So, so I think he's slowing it down because obviously when you have the better puck control, you can set things up a lot better. But again, that's going to play into Pete's strength a little bit. So, like I said, we'll see what happens here. That was a nice block on a decent forehand shot by Nathan there.
Oh, no, he scores against himself. That's
unforced error there. Gave Nathan the lead.
Yeah, thanks for being on, Sam and Chad. We appreciate it. We're going to make a point to get the audio streamlined as much as we can. Just a few minutes here.
Yeah, Sam's on, and he received the diagnosis from Dr. Hines earlier today of his DSDS, and so he's going to be working on that to better himself.
Oh, I thought it was something else. I misdiagnosed Sam earlier. BS is what I called it. But you're 11-time world champion, so I'm going to defer to your expertise. That's funny. Love you, Sam.
That's funny. Well, I didn't say that was the only thing he suffered from.
Oh, gotcha.
That's hilarious.
All right, so, very nice left wall by Nathan there. All right. So again, it looks like Nathan's, taking his time on offense. Pete's doing the same, which I'm happy to see him do that. So again, when you can hit really good, powerful, right wall overs like that, I mean, that was ridiculous, and it actually went under. It was hit so hard,
good
and Nathan was there for that one.
Good block.
All right. Nathan wants to close this game out. You don't want to have it where you win the first game very handily and then you lose the second one. And he didn't.
Wow. There we go.
That was a good shot.
Final shot brought to you by Max Resto.
Yeah, so that was a good shot there at the end. I mean, you saw it kind of bounced out a little and kind of hit the back of Pete's mallet, but there's nothing wrong with that offensively. I mean, this is when a defense is in a good position. You almost have to do that sometimes to force one in there. And it was a good hit, well hit. So nothing to be ashamed of there by Nathan. That was a good shot, and Pete just got to move just a hair over to prevent that from happening. But
hey, you guys, the stream is lagging very badly.
The stream is lagging very badly.
Like, it's unwatchable.
And okay. Who is this commenting? I think this is we're doing our best to get that sorted out. Thank you for letting us know. Much appreciated.
This is excellent on our end on the YouTube studio. Our connection.
Yeah,
let me see.
Me and another guy both are having troubles with it.
Okay.
Quit stealing internet from McDonald's. Sam.
Hey man, I got that gaming internet.
That's funny.
No, I'll here.
I'm trying to play Minecraft while I watch this game, you guys.
So, yeah, I feel like me and Matt need to turn our mics back up. This soundboard here, I want to make
That
sure.
does look pretty.
Give me a second, let me check. Hey, Scott, talk for me in like 2 seconds.
2 seconds? Test. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us okay? Is it coming across? Does it sound too quiet or too muffled?
Yeah, it does look pretty glitchy.
Okay.
It looks good where I'm looking.
Yeah, Scott, you guys are sounding perfect.
Oh, good.
It
Great.
must be local. Local internet.
And is this Chad talking at the moment?
No, this is Sam.
Sam.
Oh, Sam, sorry. Oh,
No, you good?
sound a lot different on audio. Or,
Yeah, I'm still sick. That's
oh,
my
I see.
problem.
Interesting.
All right.
Well, thanks for the pointer, brother. That helped. Think.
Yeah, it's still lagging
Oh,
pretty
I see
bad.
it. Yeah, I can see the lagginess. Trying to. Wish there's some way we could fix that for sure.
I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'll have a good one.
All right, Sam.
All right, we'll see you,
Take a
Sam.
cough drop.
Peace.
Sounds good.
All right, so it looks like Nathan's picking up the pace a little bit this game with the faster drift, making a little quicker, harder shots. And this is the thing. This is one thing that you got to learn to do. Just because somebody picks up the pace on you doesn't mean that you have to pick up the pace on offense. So,
Right.
Pete here's got to just take his time. See, that shot was a little rushed. He didn't set it up. And it's just little things like that. Now, that one he didn't have to. It was a good shot. But, you've got to take your time and develop that consistent attack.
Yeah.
And regardless of what your opponent is doing, you got to do what works for you.
Not sure why the score isn't updating on the stream.
Yeah, it should be popping up there, but
It's currently
good shot.
2-2.
I always joke about Spec. He always has two modes. He has his super serious mode and his super happy mode. I don't notice anything in between with Spec. Anytime I interact, he's either really happy or like super dead serious. I've never seen a third emotion come out of Spec that I know of.
Yeah, well, that was a good little hustle point there he just had. Got him in transition. I think Nathan's, trying to do a little, be a little quicker than what he normally is. Again, because he knows that it's throwing Pete off in his game. So if he does it enough, then, even with some errors that Pete's making, it still is justified.
So 3-2.
Very nice shot. So that was a great shot. Good speed on that shot. It wasn't too fast or anything along those lines. Just perfect. I mean, that's a beautiful right wall over is what Spec just hit. Another right wall over.
5-3.
Off transition. Oh, unforced error there by Nathan.
Just lost control. Now game point. Spec. Doing pretty well this game. Good block by Spec. Ooh.
Nice.
Lost possession.
So it seems like Nathan's hitting a lot of his offense from the center of the table versus, further to the left or further from the right quadrants. And, when you do that, you kind of work into the hand of the defense. You're not forcing them to move from one side to the other of the peak of their pyramid on defense. You're actually just letting them stay right there in the middle, and they can just be very disciplined and not have to worry about. The whole reason that you move the puck over just a little bit is to, again, open up that lane to the goal. You open up that lane to the goal, now you're forcing that defense to adjust just a hair to take away that straight shot, to take away that angle. So, for Nathan, he's got to, see that when he's playing slow, there's nothing wrong with that, but he's got to understand that he's got to, force Peter's defense to actually move and actually do something there. Otherwise you're just hitting right into, a good disciplined defense that's just going to stay out there and not move. You got to force it.
Right.
Yep. And of course, Max Resto is our sponsor for today. Much appreciated.
Yeah, I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, just giving a quick shout out to them for their assistance with us. That was a huge step forward for us in Idaho air hockey. So we can't thank them enough. That is truly helpful for everything we're doing.
Yeah, and to give you a little more information on Max Resto, amazing people that have this company. They do so much for the community in the greater Houston area. They help out families in need when it comes to any sort of home improvement needs. Being in Southeast Texas, we're known to have a few hurricanes every now and then. And these guys will come out. They'll help you with the whole horrendous insurance process that you have to go through as a homeowner to really help you, get through it and get your lives back in order. So
that's awesome.
Amazing company and really, really good people to deal with. I know them personally. So
that's great.
They're nice people.
That's good to know.
All right. So I believe it's 2-1, Nathan. So I think that what's worked for Nathan so far, and the biggest difference so far in these games is, again, that pace that he has been, pushing on the Pete. For Pete, I think he's got to do a lot like what he did this last game. Ignore all that. Take your time, set it up correctly, and make good, hard shots and mix up that speed. That little medium speed right wall over was extremely effective and had Nathan moving exactly where he needed to move him. So if you start setting things up, like that, then this is going to be a completely different match.
You gotta back out each time.
So the stream, okay.
So we're game two.
Sam is mentioning the stream needing.
Should be game 4.
Okay.
That was game 3 because we just
Noticing a lag issue. I'm noticing on my device the stream is actually going quite smooth, but I was seeing on Max it seemed to have been. Okay, you fixed it. Good, great.
Okay, that should fix
Awesome.
the lagginess of the stream if you guys can.
Yep. Our expert specnician has taken care of it, as he is known to do. That's a name Matt Bentley gave him. Spec's got many good nicknames by many different people. There you go, Specnician at work, man. He has saved us yet again.
I thought Nathan won 2 games, not just 1.
I thought so too. Maybe it was just 1-1. Okay.
No, it's 2-1, Nathan.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me see.
Back and forth. There it is.
I think there you go.
There it is. Okay. And of course, big shout out to Anthony for helping us with reffing today. A huge help, because I was very much looking forward to being able to comment. I enjoy reffing also, but I kind of like to go back and forth between both things. Mixing things up a little bit.
Absolutely. Anything we can all do to help, right?
Yep. Yeah, me and Nathan always joke about which one of our humor falls the flattest, and it's quite a hard competition because usually it takes about 5 minutes for anybody to figure out that we actually said a joke, and by then it's too late.
So that first shot Nathan hit was a cross straight. I'll just show the instant replay of.
Yeah.
That one there. The reason it worked is because he took it left of center. he took it left of center, and he actually kind of exaggerated his release. So he pulled his mallet back a little more, and when you come back a little more, that defense just kind of creeps back just a little bit, and that was enough to open it up to score that first shot.
It's really good. It looks like Nathan's bringing a little bit more energy to the table right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he realizes that's where he has to win this match, is to play with a lot of energy and to keep trying to force Pete out of his game a little bit, making him make those kind of unforced errors where he's not playing his game like he should. He's letting the puck kind of dictate his shots.
Oh, that was a nice.
Yeah, right. But he's not doing that right. He's playing very well. Yeah.
I know when I play Nathan, I have to force myself to slow down and reset the puck every single time. Otherwise, I get just dragged into Nathan's fast game, and then I just run out of gas fast.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, Jaden? Thanks for being on, man.
Cross cut there.
Jaden's a good friend of ours. He shows up at the arcade a lot, plays a lot of good games. Saying hello, Matt.
What's up, Jaden?
Jaden's always fun to play in air hockey. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm.
Nathan having a good time, but he almost scored on himself, and he ends up getting scored on.
So
yeah, Pete is well on those right wall overs.
It looks like our stream's going real smooth, too. That's great.
Nice
Sarah Weissman, if you're watching, take note of that. Those overs.
Yep.
And Nathan, if you're rewatching this later, take note on how to block those overs.
Yeah, I'm doing good, Jaden. Thanks for asking. So with Spec, what's funny is I always tell people to watch Spec's games every time he's playing, because I always want them to take note of what he's emphasizing. And like, especially with newer players and stuff going up against him, I tell them, so that you can kind of hold your own against them before develop all the extra skills you need. Oh, wow. There we go.
Nice touch shot, yeah.
I suggest
all over.
To the newer players that, okay, when you're facing Spec, what you want to do is really focus on that peripheral view defense with him, because that's going to be able to get you blocking the widest range of shots until you can, hone in more of the advanced techniques and whatnot. But so far, everyone I've told that has helped them a lot in facing Spec. We'll see how well that helps him.
Now, game point.
In terms of beating Nathan.
Yeah, so right here, I think Nathan needs to really do that kind of left to center, or right to center drift. Oh, there you go, hit a cut shot, just a little left to center.
Final point brought to you by Max Resto. Was that the final one? Or was that just 6? There it is. Great.
That was a good one.
Yeah, good game. So that's 3 games to 1, Nathan. Definitely in control this set, but really after that first game, I think every game's been pretty competitive.
But Spec not going off in the night quietly.
Yep.
No, definitely not.
Good.
Definitely not. Like I said, I think the nerves, the adrenaline, got the better of him that first game. It's happened to everybody. It takes some experience going through it to kind of understand it. Again, when you're playing any kind of big match, that adrenaline just takes over sometimes.
Yeah.
The replay folder is wrong as well.
And I think this might be a good time to ask you a question on this, Danny. In your experience, have you found that during your matches, like high-intensity matches, it helps you to treat every single shot as if it's like the last point, or does it help you to kind of just remain more level-headed by not looking at it that way? Because I notice with me, it's kind of odd. It's like if I'm playing, if I treat every single point as like the last point, I tend to get overly adrenaline pumped. Whereas if I tone it down just a little bit, but still treat it very seriously, that seems to help me. Does that make sense? What I'm asking, like, what do you do psychologically?
Yeah.
What zone do you get
It's the mindset, right, of how you need to approach each and every possession, right? So, for me, when I'm playing on defense, right? Defense was my thing, and I know you can't win without offense, but defense is to me is a difference maker.
A good defense doesn't hurt.
And I would take it personal and be extremely, I guess the word would be stubborn on letting certain shots go in. And typically it's the straight shots, but it depends on who I'm playing. If I'm playing somebody and they're like this freaking right wall under god or this right wall over god, then I'll try to focus on blocking that more so, than the straights. But typically, I want to take away the straights when I'm playing somebody. So whenever a straight shot would go in, I would take it very personally. I would actually, really try to prevent that from happening for the entirety of a match. And I've had matches go where, somebody has maybe hit like 2 cross straights on me the entire match, or just a few cuts. And again, so they're forced to hit the banks, and that was just my whole strategy and my methodology when you're thinking about defense. So yes, every possession is huge. Every possession you want to play like it's your last one, but you're not to the point where you're holding your breath. And like if you get scored on, oh my God, the world just came to an end. It's not that. You're focused on the moment, and you're focused on what they're doing to try to score on you. And you kind of think about like, okay, so I know this player, I've played him before, or I've seen this type of game before. So they just hit this one particular shot. I see what they're trying to do and what they're trying to set up for the future. So I have that in the back of my head, but again, I'm waiting for that part, but I'm still going to sit on their best stuff until they change it up. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yep.
Yeah. So it's no different than, when you're playing any sport, right? So, whether it's tennis, whether it's baseball, football, and in baseball, you have somebody that's got, this ridiculous, slider or fastball, and you sit on it, right? Yep. You're going to make them throw another pitch that they're going to have to strike you out with. So, like, you're going to take away all the high fastballs or all the high sliders or whatever. This whole zone in your batting zone, you're going to be all over that part of it. So it's no different. Football, you're going to take away the run. You're not going to let them run the ball. You're going to put 8 men in the box, whatever it is. Air hockey is the same type of mentality, and it ends up being just a battle of wills once it's all said and done. Wow, speaking of wills, Pete just willed that freaking forehand straight in there. That was pretty good.
Well, it looks like we've got another commenter on here. Thank you for being here. No taste streamer?
Okay. He's not a streamer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go Spec, go Nathan. So we have one person voting for Spec, the other for Nathan.
I wonder if the stream has dropped.
So Nathan got up pretty good this game, and he's kind of let Pete back in it.
Yep.
Another powerful forehand bank that time.
Yeah, I noticed the biggest help to playing left-handed a lot against Nathan was the fact that it's just that little sweet spot, because he plays right-handed and he tends to go really far forward a lot. That I was surprised originally that those techniques were working on him so well, like they were with everybody else. And that's actually one of the things that spurred me on to keep doing that. But since Spec is playing right-handed and not doing the ambidextrous thing, it's quite a beast to play Nathan with just my right hand. I noticed it's a very challenging game.
Yeah, so right now it really looks like where Nathan's having his success is the transition. Again, just being really quick shots. And it's just enough to kind of stay ahead and stay on top of each game. Pete's got to get a little bit more disciplined defensively. If you look at his body when he's playing defense right now, it's his torso is literally flat up against the goal.
Right.
Okay. When you're flat up against the goal, so Nathan just took that set. When you're flat up against the goal, you're actually working against yourself. When you're trying to come back for banks, you got to think about balance. You got to be able to move back and forth with your body, because your arm's just an extension of your body.
Yeah.
So yes, I can come back fast with my arm, but how much faster will I be if my body, which is connected to my arm, is also coming back?
There you go.
Right? So now both are coming back, and you're actually a little quicker. So you have to be able to kind of move your body at the same time that you're moving your arm, so that way you're quicker. Plus you can get out quicker to, catch the puck, and not kind of be where you're kind of just a victim of, the other person's offense, where they're just kind of going to get possession after possession. You can, start shutting that down and maintain possession yourself.
That's right.
So that balance is a huge deal. And, that's something that, Pete's got to get fixed.
So it looks like that is the first set completed.
Yep, first set for Nathan.
Buss. And today's stream is brought to you by Max Resto, one of our sponsors.
What's this mean?
Looks like Crystal Arnold, my mother's on the stream. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you, mother.
Do we want to get Pete on here and see what he has to say?
Yeah, let's bring you on, brother, to see what you have to say about your game.
If you want to chit chat about your strategy. It's been close games. Bring you up on the.
No, you took mine.
Sorry.
What's up?
Hey Pete, how you feeling?
Sweaty.
So what are your thoughts there, about that first set?
Yeah, I've noticed that if I take it way down slow, he'll kind of wander off into his daydream and then lose focus. But there's a very specific window of that time that I have to hit correctly or he'll block it. And you've seen that, right? When I was going a little slower and I hit my shot and it went in because he lost a little bit of focus there.
Yeah, so first game, right? He kind of came out playing super fast. Both you guys, your adrenaline was up. I guarantee you were probably a little shaky, you felt the jitters, from the adrenaline. And both you guys actually were making some errors when it came to like puck control, but I think it affected you more so. It's like, and when you got the puck, you didn't take your time at all. You just made these quick shots trying to keep up with this crazy pace. And that's not your game, right?
I was just trying to surprise him,
But
surprise yourself into a loss.
So the way to do it is you play your game, and then once you get them in that rhythm of your game, then you throw in those surprise quick shots, surprise attacks, those little, pop shots, what we like to call. But don't do that just starting off, because then it's just kind of gimmicky and you're not really setting up his deep. I mean, thinking about it. I mean, this is a long match. This isn't one game. This is a lot of games. Best of 5 sets. So you got to think long term. I got to set this guy up, where his defense is not going to know what to do and feel helpless, right? Yeah. So for you, you've got to make sure that you go. You can't hit the puck most of the time in the middle. You want to hit it either left of center or right of center, based on where, what you want to try to set up. You're doing a really good job at times, but you've got to make sure that pace or that the drift speed isn't too much for you. So that's when you're making those errors and you end up just kind of giving the puck away, or you hit a straight shot because that's all you can hit. But when you are just making a very slow drift and you're really holding, that mallet back, and maybe a little pump fake here and there, and then you make a good shot, that's beautiful. Keep doing that. The one thing I'll say, a few of those times, when you're playing or when you're about to set up and that puck is there drifting, you got to have that mallet, your wrist behind the puck cocked, ready to go, without moving, or make that pump fake but have it behind the closer to the puck, because if you're so far back, you're not really putting any stress on the defense because they're easily going to see it coming. But if you hold that mallet a little closer to the puck, right, then they're not going to know when you're going to hit it, because you can hit it early, you can hit it late, you can hit it, the bank or the cut. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to make sure that you do that. Defensively, I would say that a lot of Nathan's shots, right? He's hitting a lot of shots too from the middle of the table.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure your discipline is correct. You stay out for those straight shots, but just be ready and be set. Don't. Let's see. I guess don't go to sleep yourself, right? So one of the things that you're doing is your body, your torso is like literally flat up against the goal, and when you do that, it's harder for you to really move around. So you actually need to be standing back a little bit and have your balance and use those legs, right?
Yeah.
All that explosive stuff you've been doing there in the gym, use those legs to move your body, and your arm will come with your body because they're connected, right?
Like a bladed stance, like you're in a fight.
Yeah, so you got to be able to go back and forth quick and fast and reach out and lunge out for that puck at times. But that's all from your legs, right? More so than your arm, because your arm is just an extension of your legs in that instance. So rocking back and forth, but keeping your body not up against the table like that, because when you're like that, now it's just all arm of what you're moving. And you're so much quicker and faster if it's your body and your arm moving versus just your arm. All right, but look, don't play your game. The last several games were very competitive. I like what I'm seeing. Just don't let him control that pace, man. Don't overthink it. Number one, and don't let him control that pace. Cool.
Yep.
All right, sir. Good luck.
Okay.
All right, you want to send Nathan in here for the last few minutes?
You want to talk to Nathan?
I don't want to.
It's up to Nathan.
Well,
he's over there playing.
He's playing
I don't think he has an off button.
He doesn't.
Nathan needs to be like a moving train. He has to keep going or going.
He likes the limelight. Just send him in here and tell him come and talk to us, so we can get his thoughts.
I'm just gonna make sure everything's working here.
Yeah, make sure it's unbreakable, because
How you like my style, Danny? My pump fake style.
Well, I like it. I think my brothers in San Antonio, Vince and those guys, will call them love pumps.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Myers, I think, coined that phrase because he's got a ridiculous pump fake in his right wall kind of line attack game. I don't know if you ever had the pleasure of playing Dan Myers, but man, his offense is ridiculous.
I was supposed to play him at last Worlds, but I got moved from a bracket change to play. Who was it? Sebastian.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to play Dan
Sebastian
Meyer
from Mexico.
That was my fault.
He beat me in the first game, and I was like so bummed out, and then I like murdered him on the sub bracket games. So I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't warmed up.
Yeah, it happens. It's all good. The experience of it. Your first. That was your first Worlds too, wasn't it?
Yep. I made a goal to myself that I would have to bring a trophy back for my first Worlds, and I did. So that was
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, it's my first Worlds. Back in 1995. It sounds so damn long ago now, but when I walked in the room, I saw all these yellow shirts, and it was Team Venezuela. It was like 15 of them, or at least. And it seemed like they brought all their wives and girlfriends, as well. So of course, it just multiplied it. They're all wearing the yellow shirts too, and I was so excited, just being able to be in that environment. And some amazing matches came out of that tournament. Ones I'll never ever forget. So one highly contested match, Don James and Jose Mora battling it out for the loser would be, I guess, in the 5-6 spinoff. After every point, they were screaming USA or Venezuela. After every single point, the entire tournament stopped, and everybody was watching these guys. And it was based in like this pit, so you could be up in the second deck, the second level, all around this table, and watch it. It was really a spectacle. It was awesome. Good stuff.
I think we're going to jump in the next game here, so we're going to be on the second row.
Row 2, game 1.
Yep.
All right. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Danny. See you soon.
All right.
We'll see you, Spec. You won't see us. And now we have Anthony joining us because I think Scott is going to take over reffing duties.
Oh, okay.
Since
all right. Hi, Anthony. How you doing? I don't think we've ever met.
I don't think I've met you either.
He doesn't know who you are, so we have to fix that.
I've heard a little bit.
You heard a little bit?
Yeah. 11th world state champion. Not state.
World state champion.
Like the whole entire planet.
That's crazy.
Air hockey
11
planet.
times.
Yeah.
Gosh, and I can't even beat Scott.
It means I'm old, is what it means.
It means you're good.
Although Colin has done it, and he's still young. He's done it in a lot more dominant fashion than I did. That's for sure. So, I took my lumps back and forth for several years. All right, here we go. Looks like about to start the second set. Nathan won the first set, 4-1.
See, I out.
Gosh,
that first game, Nathan really took it to him. I think it was 7-1, but
yeah.
After that, I think every game was fairly competitive. So we'll see what happens here. First face-off, Nathan won it and ended up with possession. Going back to the cross straight there, looks like Spec was in position.
I think he's just setting it straight down the middle, and that tends to happen when you send it down the middle. Oh, nice over.
Yeah, wow.
That was a great over.
Right wall over. Powerful right wall over he's hitting.
He knows that's one of the keys to beating Nathan.
Followed by a very strong level under by Nathan.
Mm-hmm. Sarah and Jacob, if you're watching right now.
Good block by Nathan there on the bank.
Shot.
Yeah, so that works so well. So again, it's a circle drift cut shot, but he hits it just a little left of center with a good release, and that right there is an unforced error. He's got to reduce that. All right, good left fall over by Nathan.
I love seeing those overs.
They're so good. It's so clean.
Yeah, overs are probably the most exciting shot, I think, to hit in air hockey. I'd say overs and off speed shots are probably the most exciting to watch live.
Wanting to do an over and then hitting an over is just so satisfying.
It's such a clean feeling.
All right, so again, our Spec's got to take his time there. Set it up for him. Didn't do it. See, when he's doing that, he's not really pushing Nathan's defense and putting that additional stress on him. You've got to put stress on your opponent with every given opportunity.
You got to throw those delays and pumps in there to stress him out.
Absolutely. Yeah, make them work, like Lord Almighty, that was ridiculous to sit here and try to block this guy. I finally got the puck, and I'm winded, but I have the puck. So, you've done a good job offensively if your opponent is having those kind of feelings. Ooh, beautiful cut. Good release. Far over in the left quadrant. See that? He was probably got 2 inches left of center.
Oh. Gee, ends up coming back to him, so. Spec, but not so lucky to get a goal scored against him right there. Oh no, Gerb right at the end too.
Took a risk there. It's a well-timed charge by Nathan. So, again, when you're on offense, right, and you hit that puck, you got to expect them to do that almost every time.
Yeah.
And then it just comes back to you and you catch it, right? I say that, and it's easier said than done. But if it's somebody that you're familiar with, is capable of charging, you definitely need to be ready for that. And there are certain players that in the sport that will charging is a big part of their defense, and you absolutely have to be prepared offensively, because again, that puck will come back at you faster than what you released it.
Oh yeah, we call it a Gerber here because it's being fed to you like baby food.
A Gerber, I like it. So so far Nathan has controlled that first game in both sets pretty handily. That one there, he's hitting a lot of good, setting it up, opening with the cross and then with a cut, and really just controlling that speed. The thing that Spec's got to do, he's got to learn how to just move a little more fluently on defense, understand how to move and how to not move when you're playing. So, when I say not move is, when they hit that cross straight on you, you don't back up or you don't you don't play matador defense. You don't move out of the way. You got to literally let it come to you. See, and then you open it up again with the cross. First shot again.
Yep. Ooh.
Nice cut.
Response.
A good release on that cut.
I wish I replayed it.
You got to maintain that possession. Then transition got him. Again, you got to be more efficient offensively. So you got to be able to be ready for those rebounds.
That's like a little slap.
Yeah, that was a forehand pot shot. That's what that was. And
lucky it went in.
Both guys with some forehands.
Not to be outdone. Spec shows what he can do.
Right.
Oh
goodness! Unforced error by
that.
Spec. Left wall over. All right. Yeah, Pete's got to really get his composure here, and I think where he's really losing the battle, it's not necessarily a lot of it's his own inefficiency on offense, right? So
yeah,
that was a good block there. But the inefficiency on offense, he hits one shot, he doesn't get the rebound, and it goes back to Nathan.
Do you think it's a lack of foresight and looking ahead more than one shot?
A lot of that is really just not doing it enough, not being in good enough practice where you're used to that movement of the puck, right?
Right.
So there's, like I said, you have to be ready for it to come back at you the second you release it, But again, he's very flat-footed. He's flat-footed, really both offensively and defensively. He's not moving too much. It looks like he's going back a little there, but it's not quite enough. I think he's got to use more leg. Really help that foundation, of his game. And I think once he starts doing that and he starts realizing, he'll be more explosive, not just defensively but offensively as well.
Yeah. Spec trying to slow it down a little bit here.
Yeah, he did better there on the rebound. So again, it's just retaining that possession. That was a good block. Nathan held on to it. Let's see here. Good over. Great release. Good timing. Like how, see there, Now, the only thing I would like different is for him to be a little closer to that puck. See how far back he was? His arm was cocked all the way back to the rail almost.
That's just telegraphing everybody what you're about to do.
Yes. So, it gives the defense that much more time to react, with what you're doing. So Nathan goes ahead and finishes that game off. Leads. I believe that's 2 games to none this set.
Shot clock max resto. 2 games to none. Why is it putting 2 games on both sides? I don't understand. Why is it putting games on both sides?
Because you're on the wrong game.
What game? I was on game 3. Now it's game 4, right? No, now it's game 3. Does it bother you when you look up at the scoreboard and it's all messed up?
Yeah.
Is that just a distraction to you?
It's always on the bottom row, right?
Yeah. I was just on the wrong game.
Yeah. So now we're on game 3.
Okay. Now just remove sets for games from your side because you have 0 games.
Hey, who put those on?
When I did on Nathan, it did on both sides at the same time.
I'm having Scott do. So I'll just have Scott do it on the stream deck, and he'll just worry about replays and camera angles.
Oh, camera angles, huh? Yeah, I forgot that. I can do that.
Okay, just don't worry about the games. We'll have Scott do it.
Okay.
Just worry about camera angles and replays.
Okay, camera angles and replays.
We can do that.
I can do that.
You got that.
And commentary.
Yeah. The production side of this is it's not easy. It's a challenge. I witnessed it. I witnessed it a few times, but obviously when I was there with Tim and Andrew Flanagan, for I guess we did it for 10.5 hours straight, with 2 bathroom breaks for myself and Tim. So that was the first showdown, and it was a bit of a challenge, but it was so much fun.
Here we go for game 3.
Let's go.
Yeah, 2 games to 0. Nathan, another face-off here. To talk about the face-offs, it seems like both guys, they're either, hitting it where they want to either, beat out their opponent and hit it first, or they're doing the French Open where they're letting their opponent kind of hit it to them. So there's not really the difference when it comes to some guys will actually try to tap it to the other opponent's mallet really quick to try to get it back. And I don't remember all the names of all these, but I'm sure if you look on the center line, they have a video showing you all the different moves that you can make on the face-off.
Yeah, I watched that. I really enjoyed and learned a lot watching those videos.
Yeah.
The different openings.
Yeah. See, for me, it almost didn't. I wasn't too concerned about face-offs because I almost wanted my opponent to have the puck first. I'm a little crazy and fanatical about defense, so that's probably why.
Defense centric.
All right.
No forehand, off goal. Loses possession.
Yeah, so one thing he's got to learn, like with the forehands, you got to do them closer to the line, which means you got to move your body more. Which it kind of does a little bit of telegraphing, but at the same time you can do so much more. You can hit actual right walls, you can hit left walls, with that forehand shot. But anyways, like I said, it's a oh goodness, it's it's an art form to develop an attack when you're talking about just forearm attack, or forehand rather.
I'm very weak in the forehand department, so I don't do them. I should say seldomly, unless I know I got the line.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of the, like, when I think of, great forehand attacks, I mean, I think of Mike Shoppy, a player from the 80s. I think of, actually Tim Wiseman and Jesse Dowdy both had really good forehand attacks. I don't think either one of those guys get enough credit. Tim actually had a whole attack. He just kind of switch it up, and he would hit, a lot of forehand cuts and forehand left wall unders, and very super fast and accurate. Imagine I know it's hard to imagine a Wiseman with a fast right wall or left wall under,
Yeah.
but there was no change there when his even with his forehand. So yeah, that game there just
brought by Max Resto.
Yeah, that game there, it just seems like, Pete's he's not in it. He's not taking up that time to set up an attack. He's really got to take some time, think about this. Maybe where he wants to take his 2 minutes. Being down 3-0. He wants to push this set a little bit, because to win 3 sets in a row might be a little tough with how things have been going. So I think if he at least makes this set competitive, wins the next 2 games, then it becomes a little more realistic that he can actually win 3 in a row. But if he just kind of gives up this 4th game, it's just mentally to overcome being down 0-2. It's not going to be easy. I think. Wasn't Sam down 0-2 and he came back and won? Is that what happened? Like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was impressive.
That was a great game.
Yeah. But I think the skill differential was a little bit different. I think the skill side was on Sam's side in that case.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And it kind of goes into, I think Andrew Flanagan's making a comment here. He said, I don't know how many hours Nathan has on the table, but once you put in, your 10,000 hours, you see that you can't see otherwise. So you see things that you can't see otherwise, and makes reacting to the puck motion more second nature. And he's absolutely right. It builds up muscle memory. And, when you get tired and you get winded, that becomes a bigger deal. I can't even tell you how many hours I spent on the table, especially when I was coming up in the sport. I mean, Lord Almighty, there's probably a good solid just decade straight of playing. If you really added up all the hours, I was a bit of a fanatic. Really fell in love with it. All right, let's see here. I really want to see if Pete kind of digs deep here and makes this a set.
I know Pete almost concedes, but gets lucky. Goes in and out. But
yeah, Nathan's just going to keep pushing the envelope there. He's just going to keep, forcing that speed advantage that he has on spec.
And that's really his game plan. It's just what he does. Forces people to go into that fast game.
Yeah.
And in Idaho, that's the fast game. I mean, there's no George Anderson to push Nathan with his fast game. It's just that Nathan has the fast game here, and he's the one pulling everybody into his game.
Yeah. Yeah, so for Nathan, it's great to have that when you are the fastest player, but I can assure you he's not the fastest that we have in our sport. And he's got to learn to incorporate all facets of the game, if he really wants to go to the next level, right?
Right.
The fast stuff's great, and it's something that you definitely want to master. But at the same time, you got to master the slow stuff. You got to, and when you start mastering an offense, it helps your defense and vice versa, right? So you start mastering your defense, it helps your offense. You understand why things work and why they don't. And, that's what really being a master really means. It's not really a finish as much as it is an understanding of the game itself and, what makes a player successful. That being said, we still give the title of master to the top 10 in the sport. All right. Good block there by Pete. Nothing wrong with that. It was a good block, by Nathan. But again, just hitting a quick, just transition type attack made all the difference in the world. I mean, and now he's taking some chances there, charging him, and that's just going to frustrate, Pete just a little more. And he's got to understand that. And, see, he's just got him completely off balance there, with that speed. And when you're doing that, the cross straight just becomes easy to hit. I mean, it doesn't have to be that much of a setup when you're kind of attacking like that. And he's got Pete, off balance to this degree.
Oh, that was nice. That was very clean.
Yeah, I love at times, some of his attacks are beautiful. And that was a great example right there. Take your time. There you go. Get it back. So that one was kind of an off goal, but it didn't really serve too much of a purpose just because it was too far over to the left. It needs to be a little closer to goal if you're really going to hit an off goal that's going to be effective and actually try to create those conditioned responses.
Make it threatening.
Yeah, he's catching him out of position really quick. Again, just drift quick, hit, drift quick. Just that's what Nathan's attack is, and it's being very effective right now, Pete.
Oh, flubs it. Loses possession.
Yeah.
Oh, and just
Oh, my
lets it
goodness.
go.
Yeah. That shows you right there, and that's good sportsman by Nathan. But he didn't have to do that. He could just keep doing well. It was kind of irrelevant. So 4-0 that set. This match is quickly getting out of hand for Spec.
That's set.
Very one-sided. Yeah, very one-sided. I really want Spec to put up more of a fight, but he's got to get Nathan out of his head a little bit there. Not being ready for those kind of charges is part of it. Because if he charges, it goes back in your goal, or you just see him like he's gonna charge, and then you freeze up while the puck's drifting on your side of the table. That's not a good sign. So, and that's literally what just happened. Well, let's see if Spec wants to continue talking there. I think he's behind you guys now.
You want to have you have something to say about that? I saw you did everything that Danny told you.
I tried, and he changed his game. He started doing so many overs on me, and I just couldn't block overs. You saw those, Danny. He was like super concentrate on the overs.
Oh, we saw.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, look, Nathan's playing good. There's no question, right?
Yeah.
But he's not unbeatable. Nobody is, And I was, especially that last game, I was really wanting to see what kind of fight you were going to put up, to really kind of put just something in Nathan's head that, this match isn't over, right? And I'm not saying that the match can't be still won by you,
Right.
but you've got to completely change your mindset when it comes to, I'm going to be ready the second that puck leaves my mallet, right? And it's this mindset of this intense shift from offense to defense. And
You're back.
when I look back at that set, that you just got through playing, a lot of that was you hit your shot and it came back to you, but you weren't ready for it coming back to you, and it got back to Nathan. but you had a chance to catch it, but you didn't. So he got that many more shot opportunities on you, and that, to me, completely changed that set, where you were in a position, where you couldn't actually, set anything up effectively. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've always had a hard time of trying to get back the puck when it returned to me. It's some of the things that I've been trying to work on this past week up against Nathan. So I'm still new to this game. I've only been playing for a year.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to come down on you. I think you're playing great. I love what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You're doing a lot of nice things offensively. Again, it's just Nathan's dictating that pace, and he's causing you to he's forcing a lot of errors that you're making by increasing that pace. And when he slows it down just a little bit, the game becomes more competitive. The second he speeds it up, all of a sudden the game gets out of reach. And you've got to understand that, and understand that he's going to come at you. He's going to drift hit, or drift hit. And it's a lot of quick stuff, where you're just not seeing it, or you're not ready for it, one of the two. So again, a lot of that is your balance. You're still leaning forward quite a bit, or you're flat up against the goal, your torso. You gotta have it off there. You gotta literally, like I said, have those legs ready to pull you one way or the other, right? Whether you're going to go back, whether you're going to go forward. That all makes a big difference in how your body reacts and responds. So, look, don't think the match is over. But what you need to do is force your pace on him, right? And just because he does, where looks like he's going to charge you, that shouldn't freeze you, right? Offensively. So he comes out to charge you. Well, hit it right in his mallet where it comes right back to you. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done that a million times. You just get the puck right back and set it up again. So, but you got to be ready for that.
We just actually had a huge spike in viewers popping in. So for those of you that just popped in, the game is not over yet, for sure. This guy still has a giant. That's what I'm most nervous about, is losing my energy and having him just start dictating the entire game from this point forward. I will say that, and I was talking to Mike Cummings earlier today, and I was saying that there's a few people that I absolutely despise playing against, and this is one of them, and it's because of the friendship behind it. I want to play against someone that I'm mad at, someone that I can feel good about just beating on the table, right? But there's a few people, Mike Cummings is one of those people as well, where you're actually rooting for them the entire game. You're rooting for them. You want them to win, right? Because they're just such great people. Sarah Wiseman is one of those people where it's like I'm rooting for her the entire time that I'm playing, right? And so I hate this game very much, just because this guy and I go back quite a ways. We've been practicing for a long time together, and it shouldn't be this way, right? I want to hate it, but I can't.
You say that, Nathan. You say that, but when I was at the peak of my career, the guy finishing second all those years was my best friend and practice partner, my doubles partner. He was the best man in my wedding. I was the best man in his wedding. Ehab Shukri. So you have to just, I think it's a mindset, and you both have to agree. There's going to be times that he's going to kick your butt, and there's going to be times you're going to do the same to him, right? And you just have that. In fact, you want that intense battle. And the second that you see a little bit of a letdown in them, you let them know, and vice versa. Yep. And you keep each other at a high level of playing, because, again, it's not about the win and loss. It's more about the high quality of air hockey.
Exactly.
And you want the beauty of it, right? So, like, Ehab and I would have these ridiculous matches. It seemed like nobody would score for minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever it was. And and then all of a sudden there would be a barrage of really good, awesome, him left wall overs, me right wall overs, cuts, crosses, So it was really, and everybody loved watching it, of course, back in the day. But yeah, no, the friendship thing, it's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, there's no reason. Yeah,
I've heard that it's one of the rare sports where you have to have a very good opponent to get better. If you don't have a good opponent, you're not going to get better. And you need that person to be that challenges you just constantly, day in and day out. And so you have to have your opponent get better for yourself to get better. So you're constantly rooting for each other, because the better that you are all together, the better you all get together. And so constantly sharing technique with each other helps so much. Yesterday, actually, I see a Moog is in the chat right now. Yesterday, he took second place. He beat his seed by I think three seeds yesterday. It was a fantastic game. He came in, and he's been one of our frequents at the arcade. We've got actually quite a few people I'm seeing in the chat right now from the arcade. Hi, everybody. It's good to see everyone. We're right about to jump into our next game. It's going to start in about 2 minutes here. This is by far the most views that we've ever had. And we've got a huge game coming up next week. Do not miss it. It's Sam Self versus Landon Jewel. And the winner of that game goes up against the winner of this game. And that's going to be for the finals. Before the very last game, though, we're going to have the tournament of all of the spin-off games before that to find out everybody's rank. So I'm really excited about that game. It's going to be a very long game. On February 5th is when we do the big spin-off tournament. But next week is Landon versus Sam. It's a second best in Idaho versus a third best in Idaho, currently ranked right now. And I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to pop out of here. If you guys have any questions for me, throw it in the chat right now. While we're in the other room playing air hockey, we're actually able to see all the chats on there. We have this big TV in there, and we're able to watch the chats come in. And so if you see me waving and such, that's me reading the chats in the other room. So it's been a lot of fun. Danny, thank you so much for popping in here and giving your expertise. One of the guys walked out of here a few minutes ago. Anthony walked out, and he's just like, that dude is so cool. He's so cool. He knows so much. So I don't think they're telling it to your face, but behind your back, they speak good about you. Okay, so.
Okay, well, that's nice to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions?
It's a pleasure to be on here, and I'm enjoying it. And if you guys want to pick my brain, that's what I'm here for. Because I can't do as much playing as I once did, obviously, but I still know the game very well, and wasn't not that far removed from actually playing it at a decent level.
Well, you're a great coach. Actually, Spec or Peter Kai, we call him Spec. Well, it's so weird for me to call him Peter Kai, but he's actually one of my mentors. He is a strategist, and he studies the game intently. And so when I'm playing a game, he'll walk over to me and he'll just give me like one pointer. And he does it in bite-sized pieces. He doesn't give me 10,000 things. He's like, here you go, just choose one piece. And he's helped me win many games. So
one piece?
I got to keep him on my good side. Matt, I'm going to pass the sweaty headphones over to you, my friend.
Oh, gross.
Enjoy. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Bye, guys. I'll see you on the table.
That is disgusting, mate. All right, we got 30 seconds till we start this.
All right.
Which could be the last set.
Could be the last set. I'm hoping Pete makes this a battle.
I know Pete hasn't within him to do it, but will he?
Yeah. Obviously, it's not going to be easy. It's an uphill battle for him, but I mean, I think it's a mental thing for him that he's got to just overcome. I mean, I know Nathan's kind of been, the head honcho there, kind of top dog.
The Idaho
there
Primus.
in Idaho. So I think he's just got to understand that it's okay for him to belong, for him to do it. And I think that, it was certainly a learning experience for me, something I had to go through. I remember playing Tim Wiseman. This isn't Tim in his prime pretty much. And first time I ever played him, and I was so, all I heard were just these amazing things, and he did not disappoint.
Was he the young
I hit so many hard shots on him, and it might as well have been a goal blocker there, because he was just there for every single shot, and I did not understand how on earth somebody could do that. And back then I played with one of those little hard low tops, and coming out of high school, in college, and I could really knock the hell out of it. And he just was there blocking everything. And it took me a lot of years just to feel like I even belonged on the same table with a player like that.
Yeah.
So there's just mental things you got to overcome, and you just have to understand that now is your time. Why not? Why not you? Why can't you be the champ? Why can't you be the best? I mean,
right.
This is a lot of things that Jacob Munoz, Jacob Wiseman. Although Jacob Wiseman's actually done it and he's won a world championship, but when they play Colin, they got to believe that for themselves that there's no reason they can't beat this guy. I know he's amazing and he's ridiculous and he has every single shot and his defense is just, phenomenal, but he's still human. And, we all have flaws. And he'll be the first to tell you that he has them as well. Although we haven't seen them.
Yeah.
But so like I said, you got to believe in yourself and just let it flow.
That's
the puck
key.
go. So here we go. Face off for the third set.
And Omug, it's good to see you on the chat, man. Thanks for being here. Omug played an amazing game yesterday. Hey, there it is from Spec.
That's a good start from Idaho Pete.
But thank you for being here to cheer us on, brother. Cheer Spec and Nathan on. We appreciate it.
Good delay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unforced error. Again, like I'm talking about, you just, when you hit that puck, be ready for it to come back.
Gotta
right?
shake that off, though.
Yep.
Yeah. You got to shake it off, but see, he almost scored on himself again. He's not quite ready for that speed. So, again, that's just going to take that muscle memory. It's going to take additional time, practice. Once he gets that down, he's going to find himself being so much more efficient offensively.
That's right.
That was a good block.
And that's what I tell people if they're facing Nathan. Just tune out completely mentally his drift. Oh, there it is. Wow, he loses it. All that matters is when that's actually released and when he hits it. The drift is irrelevant because if people get distracted by it, it throws them off really bad. I know it threw me off really bad the first couple months I was playing Nathan.
Yeah, so for me, it's just where the pucks hit,
Yep, exactly.
So that one there hit very well by Pete, far in the left quadrant. And Nathan was completely out of position. He actually pulled back before he kind of went out like a charge. And the proper charge, you're not actually going to pull back at all. You're actually just going to go straight out.
And the puck does not lie.
No.
Yeah, Omug in the chat here, he got second place in our tournament yesterday.
That's what Nathan was saying.
Very impressive. Very good game. Lost to him by 1 point. But I was happy he won, actually. He applied a lot of the techniques and stuff.
Awesome.
I was sad to miss it.
Yeah, we got a lot of rising stars in Idaho coming up, giving us all a run for our money, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I am looking forward to watching y'all's growth. I'm looking forward to, seeing master level players here soon.
Yep. I am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's within the realm, no question.
It's true.
There's no reason that Idaho, North Carolina, Chicago can all dominate. No different than what the Houston area did for many years.
That's right.
And continue. They're still doing very well.
Now, Matt, is Danny? Are we able to pop up his video so we can see him again? Because we can hear you, Danny. It's just
is that tripping you out?
Trying to, not really. I just want to know, it helps with timing, so I know, so I don't want to talk over him on accident or you or whatever. Okay, cool. We can see you again, Danny. Nice. But what I noticed, I was talking to Joey Liss about this. And
oh no,
because he reached out to me not too long ago, but I was telling him, I was like, you know what? I noticed that, sure, some of it is skill that I'm putting into stuff, but honestly, I found that the ambidextrous playing just by itself actually has a lot more to do with a lot of the goals I'm able to score than my actual skill level itself. I personally consider myself quite a lazy player. Others might not see it that way, but I do.
I see it. Don't worry.
Yeah, you see it, but not that that's a bad thing. I'm just trying to be honest with people about it. But they're like, "Oh no, you play with such skill," and I'm like, I'm actually really looking for the easiest route to easy goals. That's kind of how I play.
What's wrong with that?
So yeah,
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And look, in all things in life, what do? You use things to your advantage that
exactly.
you can, right?
There you go.
So if you're ambidextrous and this one particular player struggles against left-handed players versus right-handed players, then you're probably going to play 80% of your game left-handed, right?
There you go. That's right.
So and so that, back in the day, I struggled defending lefties for the most part compared to when I defended righties. Righties I would shut down pretty handedly, and in lefties, I would struggle with to some degree. And when I say struggle, they would score on me, but also I'd score on them obviously as well. But we had Anthony Marino when I was playing, who had an explosive offense, and if you didn't attack him consistently, the game could get out of hand really, really quick. And he actually just finished, I think, second or third. I think it was second at the Texas State last year. So, he still plays great at times. And I think that was a week before he had a hernia surgery too.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
6-6. It's almost
Can
down to the
Spec
wire
convert this into a win?
Come on, Spec. You got it.
Got to defend.
I believe in Spec. He can do it. It's that one last shot, man. All right, folks. Here's the moment of truth. Who's going to get the last point?
Nathan,
I do like how
timeout.
Spec is.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I like the fact that Spec's kind of rocking back and forth a little bit there.
They're both putting their bandanas on. I love it. Going ninja mode. Here we go. See, Ninja Teddy, there he is. I'm telling you, man.
So defensively, you saw his body there rocking back and forth, but now it's not, which is kind of makes me worry a little. Oof, almost an unforced error by Nathan
Spec,
there.
You got it. Make it happen. Make it happen, Spec.
Oh,
Good block by Nathan. Strong block. Because that was a good shot.
Hit his hand.
Yep.
I love how they pulled out their bandanas at the same exact time. That was great.
It was almost like it was planned.
Exactly. It seems like it was.
Spec gains
So
possession.
a couple lift overs Nathan tried, and Spec was there for both, which is good.
Oh,
Nice cut. There you go.
Nice.
So,
There you go, Spec. Last
Resto,
point brought to you by Max Resto, indeed. Oh, yes. That was great. Cheer in the
Very
comment
good
section.
shot.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a very good shot.
Big win for
It's
Spec.
one that obviously, Spec needed. I think up to that point, he
There you
lost
go, Spec.
maybe
Good job.
6, 7 games in a row, something along those lines. I think it was 6 games in a row. So that's a good little momentum change, and hopefully, he can continue this pace and make a match out of this. He's got to keep the pace at his pace. He's got to keep it slow. He's got to be very methodical with his attack. Keep going from cross to cut, mixing in the banks. Not overdoing any of those shots. And I say banks, I mean he needs to hit both the under and the over. His over is really good, and I think he scored on about 90% of them that he's hit. But if you overuse it, Nathan probably will adjust for that.
Exactly.
But again, don't overthink it. Just let it go.
I noticed when I'm playing Nathan specifically, especially, I unnecessarily sometimes I'm like, oh man, he knows what's coming, I gotta mix it up. But a lot of times that's counterintuitive. A lot of times I find that if I just stick with what I know I can get in, even though he knows it's coming, and I know he knows it's coming, I do it. But if I try to, I need to mix it up. A lot of times that messes up my game with Nathan. I noticed, if I try to, I have to deceive him.
So let me help you. Let me help you with that mindset.
Yeah.
You want him to know what's coming, and you want him to realize that there's nothing he can do about stopping it.
Right.
I love that.
That's a good point. That's a good psychology.
So if you have that mindset and you're going to force that shot down his throat, and you have that kind of instinct, that killer instinct offensively, like, hey, here comes the cross straight. You better stop it or it's going right in. Nothing you can do about it. Great example. Watch Billy Stubbs play offense, right? Mm-hmm. Billy, back in the day, he was predominantly cross straight, left wall under.
Yep.
Now, ever since I think 2000, maybe end of 2009, 2010, he kind of implemented, kind of a cut straight, from right of center, right wall under attack, at a good, ferocious pace, right? Mm-hmm. But back in the day, it was that ferocious, just right to center, cross straight, and luffle under, and those were super accurate shots.
Right.
When he hit them, it was unreal how accurate he was. And if you didn't take it away, he was going to score on it every single time. And it's that mindset, that mentality that you have to have on offense, because if you don't have that, you're never going to develop a real attack. And he's a great example of who to watch in doing that.
And I definitely concur with what you're saying, because I've seen it firsthand play out for me, actually, with my playstyle. Because I basically just get in my head, he's overly, familiar with it, so he's going to overcorrect for it, so I have to. But quite often, like what you're saying is that's definitely very applicable in my case, because that's what gets me more points for sure. And like I tell people, with Spec, what's interesting, a lot of people don't know this, but when I play Spec one-on-one at the arcade a lot, Spec actually tries to draw me into his deception game. He tries to, like when he talks to me like between games, he tries to convince me to like be more deceptive in my shots. But when I'm playing Spec, what he's trying to do a lot of times, I notice subtly, of course, in general, he's giving me good info. He's trying to pull me out of my bullseye game, accuracy game with him, which is what makes me win against him when I play against him. So I always take note of that, but it's really funny when I play Spec that he always tries to drag me into that. He's like, oh, you need to, do this and that and the other. I'm like, I'm just going to stick with those working on you, man. I'm not going to change anything up right now.
Yeah, and that's the key, right?
Yeah,
so you keep doing what works, right? And it's true with anything in life, but I mean, especially, in air hockey here, you've got to keep using the shots that work and force the defense to make that adjustment.
Exactly.
And then have the plan ready for when they do make the adjustment to go to the next shot, or to change it up the speed or the release or the position of where you're hitting it from.
That's
right. So all those little things make a world of difference, and completely just keep a defense guessing. And that right there is what makes a master level, offense. Is that kind of attack, right?
Yep.
But you definitely got to force the issue.
Definitely. Yeah, and I noticed for me personally, my biggest pet peeve in the game is needing to be deceptive. I know it's important, but it's like the aspect of the game that I'm the most loath to have to do. It's like do I have to? So that's why I personally like the more of the what you're saying, the accuracy bullseye game, because that's what gives me most of my wins, and it requires the least amount of thinking, which I enjoy about it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a firm believer in keeping it simple, stupid.
Right.
Exactly. You don't want to if you have to overthink, you're gonna cause more errors than you are successes for the most part. And that's true with so many players over the years. I mean, I know so many guys, and they're so intelligent, and they just get on the table and they are thinking all the different possibilities that could come up right then and there.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it just messes their defense up or their offense up just enough to make them just a little bit inaccurate.
Yep.
Versus me, I ain't going to do all that overthinking crap. I'm just going to get up there and hit the dang puck, right?
Exactly.
And I have that mentality. And, I think you just let it flow.
Yep.
And when you do that, you'll find that your shots are going to be more accurate. Your shots are your offense is going to flow better. Your defense can be more relaxed. You'll block more shots. So it affects everything. Versus overthinking, every little ounce of, or every little movement of the puck is going to mess you up.
That's very true. Very true. Oh man, Nathan's getting heated up here, looks like. He's not going in. Spec could use that to his advantage. Just hit the dang puck. I love it. Hey, thanks for commenting, Ray.
Just hit the dang puck.
Is that Ray Nugent that's talking
Ray.
there?
Yep.
But that's the crusher, right? And isn't he the crusher?
There it is. Nice, Spec. He got it. Peter Kai. Awesome. He knocked it in there. Nathan's getting in his head a little bit. If Spec can keep him in his head, he's got the advantage right now. He's got it.
Nice
game point either way.
He's got Nathan in his head. He can do this.
Spec can.
Come on. One more.
Oh,
Spec.
my goodness.
Keep Nathan in his head where he's at.
He did come back from a deficit of, I think he was down to 2 or 3 points.
Yep.
And Nathan was at 5. And now it's 6-6.
Spec can just ride this to the end. He's got this, man.
Well, he has to manifest the win still.
Yep.
I guess Nathan could score on himself and he could ride it in, but that
so
doesn't happen.
close.
Max Resto, final shot replay right here from Nathan, who ends up winning this game.
That was a good shot.
Oh, that was a good shot, yeah.
right there, I would say it's not really a cut, but a power straight.
Nathan was starting to lose it at the end, man. That was good. That was a good game.
Yeah, so that shot to me worked because he released it like he would release his cross straight. And it didn't go to the cross straight side, so he's been doing that this whole match, and now all of a sudden he hits it, kind of that power straight, shot ended up going to the left of the cut side.
Yep.
And again, when you create these conditioned responses on a defense, and you change something up just that minute,
There it is.
that's all it takes.
That last shot, that's literally the shot that I have the hardest time defending against, the one that he just finished Spec off with. That straight shot to the that side of the goal.
And you say not cut, but power straight?
Yes.
Power straight.
Yeah. So when
That
I
makes
think
more
power
sense to
straight,
me.
I'm thinking literally a straight line, perpendicular angle to the goal, right?
Yeah.
So it's just going in absolutely straight from the position of the puck.
That makes more
So
sense
the
to me
position
as a
is
term.
left of center, then it's a power straight going straight to the defender's right side of the goal. And then if it's over on the right side, it could be a power straight to the defender's left side of the goal.
Right.
Even though it goes to, I guess, the traditional cross straight side. But I would say that the opposite would be the hit like a cut cross from that right side or the right quadrant you hit the cut release and it crosses the defense to go to the defensive's right side of the goal, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Definitely.
Which makes it my favorite
Oh
shot.
man, I was so looking forward to Spec being able to get that last one in there. Wow.
It's now tied 1 game all in set 3.
Yeah, look, it's tied 1 game apiece, but both these games, Spec is raising his level a little bit.
He's holding his own well.
He's, yeah. So there's nothing for him to hang his head about, regardless of the outcome of this set. But yeah, he needs to just keep fighting, keep doing exactly what he's doing right here.
Yeah.
So there again, that's my little, one thing I tell him on his offense, he's got to have that mallet a little closer to the puck itself, because he's
Don't just
making
give
that
up
big,
possession.
huge windup, but his mallet's all the way almost touching the rail.
And I think this is a good juncture to talk about, the mindset I recommend people have if they want to get involved in challenge matches, start doing this. What I tell people, it's not really about actually specifically winning or not, because, like, for example, when I did my last one against Sam, my main focus was, okay, what effect is this going to have after this match, more so than the match itself? In other words, I was wanting to be able to play against Spec and some others after Sam, also, more so than just being, overly fixated on winning that. But basically, what it is, it's a good analysis of, okay, how well are you doing? Are you holding your own against the person you're playing against? Whether you actually win or not is very much secondary. It's not the big concern. The big concern is it's a good analysis. Okay, where am I at? What is my score average against this guy that I'm playing? It's just a very nice reference thing to look at. And that's what I would tell people to look at their challenge matches. Don't so much focus so much on winning. Focus more on, okay, I'm going to give it all I got, but I'm going to use this as a reference for myself versus, letting it emotionally affect you or anything like that to any notable degree.
Well, look, especially when you're first getting onto the table, right?
Yeah.
In this sport, you're going to come across guys that have been doing this for years, if not decades.
Right.
Like George Anderson.
You're not always going to experience success.
Exactly.
Period.
Sure.
In fact, if you're just new to the sport, you're not going to experience success, especially when you're playing top players.
Failure is how you learn.
That's right. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Look, it is all about, learning and figuring out what works for you and your own evolution in the sport itself.
Right.
So, that's all you can really affect as a player. You affect how you evolve into the player that you want to be on that table.
That's right.
And, whether you evolve to be the best player on the planet or you are a consistent top 30 player, consistent top 50 player, whatever it is that, your ultimate goal is, which I hope everybody's is to be number one, because that's really where I suggest. And that, to me, it's the best, when you're playing the top level players on the planet, and they're giving you everything they got, and you're just hanging right with them. There's no feeling like it. It's a great feeling.
You want to be the best.
But the goal should be to be number one. But when you're first starting off in the sport, soak up all the knowledge, get that experience of actually going through these battles, and then understand what took place. Right? Where was I successful? Where was I, not successful? Where did I struggle?
That's right.
And when you do that, your game's going to just exponentially grow, and before you know it, people will struggle to be able to hang with you on the table.
And that's what I tell a lot of new players. Just he's like exactly what you're saying as well. But it's like I look at, okay, when you're playing one of these really experienced players, are you getting? I mean, even if you're doing decent against these guys, that's something to be really proud of. I mean, even being 4 to 5 versus Nathan's 7 on average is an incredibly good place to be, especially in Idaho, and if you're a newer guy or whatever. And that's what I tell people. It's not so much
timeout call,
whether you're specifically winning or not. It's, hey, are you actually doing well at all? And if you are, then that's definitely something to be very proud of. Like when I was getting 5 to 7 in Nathan, 4 to 7 or whatever, game after game, those first few months I was playing, I had a spurt there where I was getting about that.
Oh, 660, wow. Let's go with his mallet. And that is a bummer.
But, I just focused on that. I was like, hey, I'm at least getting 4 to 5. And then sure enough, eventually you start winning here and there, and it just starts to increase as time goes on,
Yeah. Well, this is a big point we got here, 6-6. Nathan with the puck after that.
Oh,
hey, scores on the cut. Great.
Max gets the final shot, and Nathan bags it.
Nice.
Look at that. So left of center, kind of a direct release. And, if you look where Spec's defense was set up, he's out of position. He's in the middle, and he's not just a little bit to the right. Had he been just a millimeter over to the right, that would have blocked that shot.
Oh, man.
And,
precise.
Again, it's understanding puck placement. It's understanding, the lanes that an offense is trying to open up. All those things are extremely important. I can't stress it enough.
They are.
And that was the difference right there in that one particular game. So again, had Spec just moved over just a little bit, he could have blocked that shot, and then who knows what would happen next, right?
Yep. It's 6-6. Nathan hits cuts. That's what Ray's mentioned.
That's right,
yep,
Ray.
Exactly.
Spec is down 2 sets to 0. But if he's going to make a comeback, it's going to be during this set right now, because it's 6-6 each game. So we'll see where he goes with that.
And an interesting point Joey List mentioned, he was like, he suggests people avoid excessive drifting. That's what he noticed. He noticed a lot of players, they get fall into the trap of trying to drift too much unnecessarily. And I was like, that's actually an interesting observation. What do you think about that, Danny? In terms of Joey mentioning that, what's your thoughts on that?
I love it. When Joey was in town for the showdown, he had a little bit of an enlightening moment talking with me. Mm-hmm. And when that man figures something out, I don't know too many people that react the way he does. I mean, it's so funny. He just does literally backflips and gets all excited and whatnot. And talking to him, we talked a lot about again, just mindset of an offensive drift. Why do you drift? What's the intent? What's the point of it, right? Yeah. And again, it's just to create lanes, right? Create lanes and create conditioned responses, right? That's all you're doing. So you're trying to figure out a way to make the defense not move in the right position or to move out of the right position, right? So you're trying to do one or two things. If you watch Colin Cummings drift, and you got to watch closely because he does it so fast. But, when he's doing that circle drift, and he hits that cut, he does it so fast that the defense doesn't have time to move over to adjust for that cut. And it's so accurate and so fast that he just blows it by you. And the second that you do adjust for it, then that's actually what he wants. So the second that you do, then he gets excited and says, all right, I can hit a different shot now. So now he hits that cross straight, or he starts hitting left wall overs or unders and does all that good stuff. You know, but I can't, like I said, it's a beautiful thing when you watch that man set up his shots. And it all starts with that quick, fast drift, setting up that lane and opening up that lane for the offensive player.
Yeah, Colin Cummings, I've been making a point to study him as much as I can. Watching I like that video he did on the talk about his progression and what he noticed helped him the most and stuff. And there's a lot of interesting things that are quite simple. It's like, oh, interesting. He's like, well, initially he thought it was his speed, and then later on there were some other things that come up. But a lot of it, once again, he just mentioned that he had his own table and he played a lot on it with his brother just on a very regular basis and other people. And it's just all those little things together just keep adding up, you know, a lot as time goes on. Because I've noticed out here at Idaho, everybody notices that, like, even 1 week goes by and a guy doesn't, you know, he misses a Sunday or something, and you notice skill levels go down, like, instantly, you know, in comparison to people who are there every week. It's kind of crazy how fast it goes. I don't like that, at least with most players. There's some anomalies, but yeah.
There's no doubt when Colin won his first couple world championships, I remember talking to his father at the end of one of them or during one of those final matches. And of course, you know, we're both just in awe how fast he's playing and, you know, how accurate he's hitting the puck. And it's just this amazing attack to witness. Yeah. And, you know, and I looked at, you know, Mike, his father, and I said, you know, the sad or the scary thing is that Colin still doesn't really understand the game as well as he's going to. Mm-hmm. And I think Colin now would agree with that 1,000%. Yeah. And he understands now how to manipulate a defense so much more and actually how to move them right out of the way. Right. And you do that with that amazing fast stuff, but at the same time you do that with release, you do that with the speed of the shot, the speed of the release, the delay, the pump fake, whatever it is you want to use. Yeah. But all those little things, those little nuances, you know, that create that conditional response, you just take advantage of it, you know, later down the road in a match. And that's what Colin has perfected now. And that's why he's that much more dangerous, you know, because like the way I'll say this, like the last couple finals where Jacob Wiseman has played Colin, Jacob's played phenomenal. And had he played Colin probably, you know, in Colin's very first couple years and Jacob played at that level, Jacob probably would have beaten him. But Colin, his game has evolved, which again is scary.
That shot out.
That's a good point.
All right.
That was very well done. Well played by Spec. He got it, man.
6-3, 7-3.
Look at that. 7-3. He's making his comeback, bro.
2-2.
2 games apiece.
Yep.
All right. Nathan took a little deep breath. Y'all think he's getting gassed a little?
I don't know. He's moving a lot. He's moving a lot.
Yep. Ray Nugent's bringing up some good points in the chat as well. Not drifting as much thing as akin to baseball and T-ball. What's easier to hit? Yeah, good points, actually. Accuracy is just free points. Yes, very true. What I've noticed. Well, it's funny because like Spec always goes on and says, oh, well, everybody says they need to be more accurate. But it's like, yeah, I mean, everybody says that. But certain ones of us, it's like we really notice, especially against you, Spec, why that's so important. He's always trying to bring people more into the deception game. Like every conversation I have with Spec is very similar in that regard. It's hilarious. He's got a good point.
So Ray has a big match coming up here at the showdown, right? I think he's going to be playing the other Cummings, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't they put a promo on the forums there?
Caffeine or something.
Is it Ray and Connor? You getting gassed?
Dude, I'm seeing Ray in there.
Man, we're seeing you getting your head naked,
Cuts
man. Looks
at
like
6'6". Yeah, Ray. That's because George Anderson threatened my life if I ever did a right wall under at 6'6" ever again. So. It's called self-defense.
Fearing for his life now. George Anderson's gonna show up at his door with the
I don't think
Mallet Mafia.
He's taking notes because he's in the showdown, Nathan.
Love it.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing everybody, come down for that. Ray included. The Crusher.
Yep.
I guess isn't that an old cartoon character, the Crusher?
Yep.
The wrestler from Looney Tunes.
That's right.
I might be showing my age.
Crusher. Here we go.
All right,
Game
2
5.
games apiece.
If Spec can keep rocking this and keep Nathan in his head, then he's going to have just that little bit of edge that might get him over there that he needs. I mean, being able to win any games against Nathan as an Idaho player out here is incredibly impressive. That's what I tell people. It's like
8-6.
we've had
right.
within the last month or so, we've seen more wins against Nathan than I've ever seen in the last. I don't even know how long I've been playing. I mean, ever since I've been playing 7 months or whatever, I've seen more wins against Nathan from newer players than
Conrad Cummings, huh?
ever recently.
Yeah, so that's a big thing, not just for Idaho air hockey.
Oh, no.
That's a big thing for Nathan.
Exactly.
Nathan needs to get pushed.
Right.
We
for
all
his
need
own
Nathan to get
personal
pushed.
gain.
We do, yeah. Everybody's tired of Nathan always winning every tournament. It's like, all right, somebody's got to beat him already. We need to mix this up.
He scored himself 3 times in a row. He needs to take a break.
God.
Nathan takes a timeout for Spec.
Nathan scored. Wait a minute. Nathan scored on himself 3 times in a row?
No, Spec scored 3 times in a row on himself.
Oh, my God. That's horrible.
Just.
All right.
He scored on himself, then became very frustrated, hit it fast, and then scored on himself again, hit it fast again out of frustration, scored on himself again, then Nathan called timeout.
Wow.
Now Spec called timeout. Now hopefully he's recentered.
Oh, okay.
Good shot.
Man, I hope that doesn't get into Spec's head the rest of the night. I really hope it doesn't. I know it probably would get into my head the rest of the night.
That was dangerous again.
It'd just kind of be lingering in the back, even though I act like it was not there. It probably
Ooh.
Game point,
Nathan. Nice shot.
Just one, yeah. Yeah, it's just certain things like that. They just linger, You try to shake them off, but it's just like, oh man.
Specs forward. It's very energetic. Disposition seems to have changed to a more passive, let's get this over with attitude.
Which I think is a bad idea.
But he's still getting scores, but Nathan's at a very good position right now.
Maybe wanting to save his energy for future matches, but games coming up, yeah.
Yeah, so Spec's got to get a little bit better when somebody does interfere with the puck to still retain that possession. When if Nathan barely touches it and still gets back to your table, your side of the table, you got to retain that possession. You got to suck up that puck.
I feel like that's something I noticed. A lot of new Idaho players, they've been getting good training in that regards. They've been really good at maintaining possession. A lot of them, I think they maintain possession a lot better than I do. So I'm like, man, what's going on here? I got to really get.
They're also a lot younger than you and have way faster reflexes.
That's a good point too.
Yeah, it helps. It helps to be young.
I've at least noticed for myself, I'm a lot older, probably three times their age, and they just are so much faster. I just gotta rely on tactics.
Exactly. Because you mentioned specifically that somebody having control annoys you more than getting scored on. I remember you said that before. Matt.
Yeah.
All right, so Nathan, that last shot there to finish off, Pete, that game. That's a right to center drift,
nice.
And it hit the cross straight. And again, Spec is not showing the discipline. He's pulling back for that, and it's going in. It's something everybody's got to work on. It's not easy. I had long conversations with a lot of different players over the years, on like different, things to try to do it. One suggestion I have, especially when players are starting off, just play a couple sets where you're only blocking straights.
Yeah.
Just stay out and try to block nothing but straights. Don't even worry if a bank goes in.
Right.
Just learn how to block those straights.
Just play that
and just understand the positioning where you got to be to block those straights. And if you have that mindset, then all of a sudden you realize, man, look at this. It's actually difficult for this guy to hit a straight. Of course, they're killing me with banks anytime they want, but who cares?
Right.
You're not doing it at that moment for the win. You're doing it at that moment to kind of evolve your defense,
right.
And to make yourself better at blocking those straights.
I'll try to apply that next couple of tournaments I go to on Sunday, or practice matches before the tourney especially.
Yeah, you want to do it, obviously when it doesn't mean anything outside of, just practicing and trying to get better, but understanding that positioning. So like if I'm out there and then I adjust too much to my right and they hit me with that crouch straight to my left side, well, you just moved too much. Yeah. It wasn't a matter of you going backwards. It was a matter of you moving too much. So it helps you find that centering and how to control that centering. But of course, you have to eventually implement, how to defend the banks as well.
Yeah.
Possible match game for Nathan.
Yep.
That would be the
3 games to 2. Let's. I want to see, Spec fight. I want to see him, use every ounce of energy he has here to really push Nathan here, right here.
Well, he is going up against the 29th best in the world, right? I think is Nathan's current world rank, 29.
Maybe. It used to change every day.
Yeah. It was 12 for one point there when I first met him, and then it moved to something else, and kind of been
that changed every day for a while.
But I mean, playing somebody at that world rank, that's quite impressive. You can win any games against a guy that's playing at that level.
When he got that was blood in the water, and it was a feeding frenzy.
Right. It's true.
All right.
Yeah, when Josiah won that match against
Nathan,
I was very impressed with that. That wasn't too long ago. Was it a match
possession?
Or a game? I know he won at least a couple games.
See, there's Spec telegraphs, and Nathan's right there to block.
Yep.
Too bad he didn't get possession, and Nathan's right there to score that straight on him. 2-0.
Yeah.
I think Spec is starting to lose focus. Fall back in old habits, get in the fast game.
My opinion on Spec's game is I feel like he's gonna be insanely good, ridiculously good within the next handful of years, maybe 4 or 5 years or something. But I think the way he practices and plays, he focuses so much on all the meticulous details of what's going on that some of the simplicity, the things that he could just simplify more, he just doesn't do. I don't know if that makes sense. So where it's I think his game's gonna be insanely good. It's already really good, but
saying he overcomplicates his game.
Yeah, I think the way he practices and plays, it's gonna be a much slower progression in terms of that. But once he gets there, it's gonna help. Whereas I feel like somebody focusing on just simpler stuff, they're gonna improve faster, but it might not actually be, you know what I'm saying, as good as Specs later on down the line. I feel like Specs doing a long haul style of practicing, whereas the other guys are just mostly focusing. Like me personally, I think in my opinion, I focus a lot more on just things that are as simple as possible. It's okay, how can I apply this as easily as I can? That's what I'm going to do. Spec, he just goes all in on every little last microscopic thing. Okay, exactly where you hit the puck and this and that. Just wow, man.
I know the type. In college. I had a really good friend who started playing when I started, and he was the same way. Of course, he ended up, he's like a doctorate in physics, and went to Beijing back in the day and studied a year there. And anyways, a super intelligent human being. And in talking air hockey with him, the simplest things at times he struggled with that portion of it.
Right.
Not that he couldn't put it all on an equation on a piece of paper and explain how it all happened.
Right.
He could certainly do that, but it was just that overthinking that it slows you down just a little bit. And that like I said, you want to keep it simple, stupid. I can't stress that enough.
Exactly. And I think that's in spec. When I play him in games, like I think when I win against him, that's the reason. I think it's more that than my skill at all. Actually, is that I think spec is basically his own biggest enemy in that regards, in terms of his over strategizing in his own game. So and when I'm playing him, I'm noticing that I'm like, Spec, I feel like you would be winning against me like way more if. But I think part of what he's doing is he's letting the losses happen. He's trying to, but he's just he's really all in on that. I'm just going to keep at this, and eventually it's just going to be just an insane thing that's going to be like almost impossible to defeat. But he's just kind of letting I hope what I'm saying is making sense. I think you get what I'm getting at. Basically what you're saying, Danny. Yeah.
All right, so we got game point 5 here.
Game point 4.
Nathan with the puck.
Nathan threw his mouth.
Oh, game point 4? Okay. Oh, now game point 5.
Yep. Oh, is the 6-6 miss not accurate, or is it
6-6 is accurate?
Oh, okay, good. All right, Spec, you got this.
All right, so it is 6-6 then.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Now it's 6-6. This is
okay, so it's
match point for Nathan.
Match point, game point.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Spec
Spec
does
has
have
a
the
chance
puck,
to stay
though.
alive.
So let's see here. If Spec can just control this drift, hit a good shot out of it. That was kind of a quick shot.
Kind of a pot shot.
Let's set it up. I'm not sure about the
Set it up.
forehand right now. And I think he's drifting so fast.
Yeah.
He's just got to just slow it down.
Calm down.
This is
better.
a great illustration of exactly what we're talking about. I think in terms of Spec's play, it's like I think right now Spec is his own.
He's overthinking
Yeah,
it.
it's his own worst enemy right now. Like if you just simplify it, Spec, you can.
He's trying the deception.
Yeah.
What is
And that
Nathan
shot ended
not
up
gonna
going in the
block?
middle there because again you're doing too much to try to fake him out instead of just executing a shot.
Yep, it's interesting. We just talk about, and that's exactly what we're seeing play out in real time, visually. Because like when I play Spec, I get that sense. I get that sense that hey, Spec, I think it's more you overthinking and over strategizing is what's causing me to win versus me actually beating you. That's the sense I always get when I'm playing Spec. Like just about every match I have with him, I feel like he's the one losing versus me actually winning because of his own over strategizing. Even though he plays well,
There it is.
That's it.
Yep.
Good shot.
There's the Max Resto final shot of this match. Nathan wins.
Oh, it just kills me, man. That last shot. I was like every one of these. I'm like, Spec, you got this, man.
Yeah, so that ended up being what is that? 12 games to 4. Is that right?
Something
Or no,
like
I'm
that.
sorry. There was 12 games to 3, huh? So it was a pretty dominant performance by Nathan. I think he controlled the pace too much.
Yeah.
Which really forced a lot of unforced errors out of
Good
Pete.
game, guys.
Here comes Nathan.
All right, here we go.
Oh man,
Good to see you.
dude, the neighbors brought cookies.
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, why don't you get in here and talk to everybody? You want to talk to the wiener? Don't get my stuff sweaty again.
It's too late. Oh, give me 1 second. I gotta take off my knee pad. The game starts where we're wearing basically nothing, and then by the time it's done, we've got knee pads, helmets on, we got like arm pads, headrests.
All right, Nathan, congratulations on a win. You've secured your place in the finals for the Idaho State.
Yes, sir. It was. To be honest, this was one of my favorite battles that I've done in a very, very, very long time. Like, he always keeps it lively. I love it when he goes to hit it at the last second and it calls a timeout because I'm like, and you know, there were so many 6-7 games. And so it was a lot of fun. That last round, my heart was racing. It was an absolute blast. So, yeah. Oh yeah, we should let Spec type in here. Okay, yeah.
Happen right now, Spec?
There we go. All right, so we could both hear, so you can ask all the questions. We would highly encourage people that are watching right now to throw your comments in the chat if you have any questions for us. Remember, this is done live right this second, so we would love to answer some questions. That was a blast. I think my favorite was when we put the headbands on, because we were both dying at the same time. We were like, okay, fine, it's headband time. We tried to put it off. We put it off long enough, and it's now time to throw the headbands on.
So Nathan, so you won, I believe it was 12 games to 3. Is that correct? I think that's what it ended up being. What do you think? What are your thoughts on like how you controlled that match? Because you really controlled it pretty much from the start.
Well, something that I learned from George Anderson and Doug is that they're very fast players, and when I would try to match their speed, I would lose control of the puck. And so in playing with all these guys here, I try to amp up the speed, because if I amp up the speed of it, they sort of try to match it. And so one of the things that I'm constantly telling the guys, I'll tell you this, I'm always like, slow down, don't let me catch you in that trap, right? Because that's a trap I try to set. I go fast, they try to just speed up to accommodate that speed, and then they make some mistakes, right? And then I'm able to catch it. When I'm against George, I have to slow way down. I cannot play fast because he beats me at the fast game. I have to change up my entire play style because he is able to play at a faster rate than I am, right? I love the chase game. It's one of my favorite games is to play that high speed. I think that's the most fun. I think slow games are more boring, and they're more boring to watch. I feel like they're more boring to play. So I'd rather a high speed game, which is what air hockey is all about. In fact, and this will make you cringe, at the very start when I started playing here in Idaho, right, I bought a table, I cleaned off the rails, which you should never do for anyone listening. I cleaned off those rails really good. I'm like, why would people leave so much dirt on these rails? And I screeched them off, and I heard the screams of 1,000 Texans. I was like, that's a weird sound as I'm cutting the dirt off of a table, which makes it all broken. Yeah, and then lastly what I did, this will make you more angry, is I went to the arcade and I'm like, why is this table so fast? Well, they spray silicone on the surface of their table. And so I started doing that to my table at the start, and so I played a very fast game. You had to be fast because that thing was going, twice the speed as it should. We never did that again to the table. It still seems fast. It's been years and we've cleaned it, but still it seems to be a bit faster table. However, it's the one that all of the pros like to play on when they're here. So George, when he's here, he picked that table too, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to tell him that that's the table. That's a silicone table, because it goes against everything.
You might have just done that.
Yeah. So, we always appreciate the fast game. Something that I learned from watching Colin Cummings is that he's extremely fast. And when he's ever asked, hey, what sets you apart from all of these other players, he says, I'm really fast. I'm the fastest player that there is. And so I took a note from that, and I decided that I would try to play a little bit faster. We should get 3 mics as well.
No doubts.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I agree with you 100%. In fact, when you go back and watch this, you'll probably hear me talk a lot about your pace and how that really messed up Peter, quite a bit. He made, I don't know how many errors, but to go back and count that would be very interesting. Whenever he was even hitting the puck offensively, and even on the rebound, it seemed like he was off a little bit. And it would, even though it came back to his side of the table, he wasn't able to retain possession. So you actually speeding it up, you had a much greater success, even though you actually made some errors as well.
Oh, man.
But
there was a game where both of us couldn't hit it. And it was like watching a Benny Hill episode, right? I mean, I could hear the music, and I'm trying, he's trying, and I'm like, whoever actually hits it is going to win this battle. And it was not intentional. And I look at the feed, and I see, Ray Nugent, and he's like, just hit the dang puck. And I'm like, sometimes it's hard, okay? Other times I'm like, ooh, I think that you would agree, Danny. There's some days you just can't hit it the wrong way. No matter what you do, it's going exactly where you want it. And other days, no matter what you do, it won't go the right way, right? Near the end, the puck started getting some dings in it, and it was dragging pretty badly. And so you could really hear it. You want to switch seats with me? No. All right. Spec is our resident like runner of all things tech. So right now, while we're talking, he's just like going furious and fixing everything over here.
I'm not even show the results.
Yeah. The results. Okay. See, I'm a bit upset because I really wanted to play Spec in the finals because I think he's that good at this point. I think that after this game, he should take on whoever gets second place. Because we've got Landon and Sam, and whoever wins that game, I think that he should take them on. I shouldn't say second place. That game hasn't happened yet. Whoever gets first place, second place, regardless, he should take them on. So I don't know if you know this, Danny, but for practice, Spec goes to the arcade, and he has a sign that he hangs up on the table that says, "Play me for a chance to win $100. If you win in the first game you play against me, you get $100. If you win in the second game, you get like 50. If you win in the third game, and anything after that, $25." And people walk up and they immediately go, "Oh, I could easily beat that guy." I mean, the owner of the arcade, Jeremy's Arcade, I'd love to give him a shout out because he's really the one who like started training us all into air hockey. He lets us advertise on a big TV in there, and it scrolls through and it will show Spec in there, and it'll say, "Play this guy and win $100, right?" And also says air hockey night every Sunday night, right? And so he gets training by, it's basically, he will lose $100 if he loses those games. And so he plays those games as hard as he can. And he has lost once in a great while, but it pushes him to that limit. And so he gets more practice than I think any of us at this point, and I know he will overtake me because he's just 1 point behind right now. How many 6-7 games do we have? And yet he's played for about half the time that I have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I know that by this time, I don't know, in a few months, I'm gonna be eating his dust. So, Spec, what do you think about
that reminds me of the old Beat the Pro events we used to have in the greater Houston area. We actually raised money for the Jimmy V Foundation for cancer research, and I think it was over 10 grand whenever we paired with, I guess Jillian's was the name of the company back in the day. And we just go up there every Saturday night, and just people would line up and they would pay like $5 for a chance to win like 1,000 if they beat us or something along those lines. And we made it close intentionally a couple times, but reality of it was just not going to happen, right. At that point in time. But
and that's the truth, is that in a lot of our feed, we'll see in all of our big, YouTube shorts that like Tim Wiseman puts out, everybody watching it says, "I could beat those guys." And first off, we encourage it. Come on, let's play. If you do beat us, great. It will help us to get better. But it's very unlikely. And why? Because there's a lot more to it than what they think. And that's the beauty of it. If you go, like I've said this a million times, if you walk up to a stranger and you say, "Hey, are you any good at kickboxing?" They're gonna say, "Well, no," right? 90% of the time. If you walk up to a stranger and say, "Are you any good at air hockey?" They all go, "Oh yeah, I'm the best there's ever been. I beat all my friends. I've played a grand total 3 times in my life and won all 3. That means I'm 100%. You know what I mean?" And so they always think that they're super great at it. And then they play, and at the very start, as soon as you drift the puck, their eyes go bug-eyed, and they go, "Who are you?" I had one guy walk up and say, "Do you want a table at home?" And when I said, "Yeah," he goes, "Thank God." I mean, it made him feel better losing against me, knowing that I had a table at home, right? I beat him in front of his friends. They all thought he could take me on. And I beat this kid at the arcade, not kid, teen, whatever. And right away he's like, "Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, it makes sense that you have a table at home, right?" So it's funny because it's not hard to find competition. It's hard to find good competition. Competition's everywhere. Everyone wants to take a piece out of us, right? So, yeah. Any questions for Spec in the live feed? Any questions for us guys? I would love to start reading off some comments. I see a bunch from Ray in here. The 6-6 headband thing was so cool.
So Danny, what do you think about that last game? I tried my hardest right there.
You did, man, and nothing to hang your head about. I thought you fought valiantly there, especially that whole last set. I really love what you're doing. Like I said, offensively, I think you just need to, really focus on that speed of drift just a little bit, because at times you're hitting it a little too fast, and then you become extremely readable, and then other times you are just kind of aiming that drift, and you're not really sure if it's going to go straight to the center or just left of center or right of center, and you hit your shot based off of that. You've got to be very direct as to, I'm going to put the puck in this position to keep attacking the defense, from this certain position and change it up every now and then, but out of necessity, not necessarily just because you're overthinking things, right? So don't assume that your defensive, your opponent is going to just figure out what you're doing. You got to make them show you that they figured out what you're doing by actually blocking the shots over and over and over. When you set up those shots correctly, they scored. So, now there were a few that you did hit really well. Nathan was there and he blocked, so credit to him on that. But that being said, the majority of those, when you set them up just right, they went in because your offense is explosive. You have really good shots. You just got to figure it out, put it together, right? So take your time, keep focusing on that. That puck control is huge. Work on retaining those possessions. So I hit the puck, whether it hit the off goal or it was blocked and it comes back to you, you've got to catch that puck, retain that possession. Too many times you were one and done, right? You hit the puck, it came back on your side of the table and you weren't able to get it, and Nathan ended up getting that possession. So, that's something that is huge because you're allowing your opponent to build up possession time, which puts more pressure on your defense, right? So you're hurting yourself.
I've heard that. It's weird because I've been in air hockey for a few years now, and it's only until, maybe it's just because I haven't noticed it, only until the last few months that I've suddenly heard the term, possession time being even a thing. And I've never heard it before. I've always heard puck control, all the other pieces, but not possession time. And so give us a smidge of possession. I mean, you're just saying that the longer that someone has the puck, the more it makes the other person antsy and frees up a bit.
Absolutely. It's stress, right? So in any sport, right? Here's a great example. They talk about it all the time in football, right? Time of possession. When that offense is on the field and you got the defense out there and you're just pounding the ball 3 yards in a bunch of dust, right? So constantly you're marching your way down the field, these long drives. And by the time the fourth quarter comes, the defense can barely stand on their legs, because they're winded, they're tired, right? So you have them where you want them. In air hockey, it's not much different. Obviously we're not pounding heads, like Rams, but when you put that pressure on somebody to have to focus at a high level to defend you over and over and over with consistent, good, hard quality shots, eventually the best conditioned athlete's the one who can step up at the end, right? So that's when it comes down to somebody who can do all those, those powerlifting moves like you do in the gym, or somebody who can run a marathon or something along those lines. So, when I was training to be the best, I also would run, 3 miles before going and playing 15 sets in a single practice session. So I probably didn't smell very good playing, but you know what? I got pretty good at playing. And, I sweated my butt off. And, afterwards I would sit down and just talk about it, what I did right, what I did wrong, things I need to improve on, things I need to focus on to take that next step, right? Because the goal is not to beat that one person, it's to beat everybody, right? You want to be able to beat anybody on the planet. So anybody that steps up, whether it's Colin Cummings or Jose Moore or Tim Wiseman, Jesse Dowdy, whoever it may be, it doesn't matter, right? The only thing that's going to matter is that puck. And if you've elevated your game at such a level, then that opponent truly becomes irrelevant. And you, like I said, that's why you've got to push yourself on a daily basis, and get yourself to that level. And it starts with puck control. It starts with knowledge. It starts with building up, good habits when you practice. It starts with building that muscle memory. So that way, when you are mentally exhausted, your muscles do the thinking for you, right? So you naturally react a certain way, the correct way, on playing defense, even though you're gassed, right? Even though you're exhausted, because you know what? It's not that I'm playing this one set, right? And it's going 7 games. It's that I've been playing for 3 straight days against 40 other opponents, from doubles to singles and everything else. And here I am, and it's 6-6 in the 7th freaking game. and neither of us can score.
Right.
But you know what? My muscle memory is where it needs to be, so that way I'm going to succeed. And you have that confidence, and then you go do it.
Yeah. I love that.
And that's really it.
In the chat, we got Jaden saying, hey, how are you? I'm doing good, bud. Thanks for watching. We want to thank everybody for watching. We still got quite a few people watching even right this second. We should probably end this off and let them have the rest of their night out. And then I think we're going to get busy recording some more stuff right now, and because we've got some big games that are coming up. So we have Sam versus Landon. Guys, you should watch that coming up next week. And you can see here on the bracket. Oh, this is beautiful. I love this bracket. So you can see that on January 29th, which is next week, we got Sam versus Landon. The week after that, we're doing our big tournament. This is the game that just happened just now. And then we have our big tournament for anybody that is in all of the spin-off brackets to find out everyone's rank in Idaho. And then after that is the big game, which will be, in this case, whoever wins in the Sam versus Landon game against me on February 12th. So please don't miss that game. Thanks for sharing this. That's the big piece right now is we really want everyone to share this with your friends, help us grow. That's our big thing right now is we're just really trying to grow the sport, get some sponsorship in here. Also love to thank Max Resto for really just being a big player in the air hockey world right now and helping sponsor air hockey in itself. So I want to thank everybody who watched, I want to thank everyone who shared, and I want to thank my family for supporting me throughout this whole thing as well. Spec, any words?
Yeah, look what Ray Nugent said.
What did Nate Nugent said? Guest speaker reminds me a lot of that background character in The Way of the Puck who kept winning things. And at next week, we already have confirmation that the great Mike Cummings is going to help us commentate. So I'm really excited about that as well. And we kind of have a rotating door of all of our amazing commentators. So lastly, but not least, I would love to thank Danny Hines for being our guest commentator today. 11-time world champion, Danny. I am so excited to have your input and knowledge. So I'd like to give everyone a giant thanks, and we will see you next time from Idaho Air Hockey. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Danny.